Fox News host Charles Payne went after one of his co-hosts, Jessica Tarlov, for what he perceived as playing down Biden's dislike of MAGA and Americans that support former President Trump. Let's take a look.
An interesting piece of news visited you and me today. Charles Payne defends Trump's interests and criticizes Jessica Tarlov's remarks. Let's get to the bottom of what happened there together.
Biden's anger and vitriol and hatred for MAGA is far more worse than President Trump's individual battles with someone who crosses him. That is something that is really detrimental to this country, that the President of the United States despises half of the United States.
President Biden made a joke of MAGA Republicans on Sunday night, mocking conspiracy theories surrounding the NFL and pop sensation Taylor Swift after the Kansas City Chiefs won the Super Bowl. It's awful. They buy a person's opinion of themselves and dare to state something in public. Don't you think that's weird?
President Biden, I said earlier today, about a week ago, I had a segment coming up, so I Googled Biden hates MAGA. Nothing but articles after articles after articles. He has expressed hatred for half of the country.
Who's writing those articles?
It doesn't matter.
And it's not.
Because the bottom line is he says it. He has vitriol for them. And so does MSNBC, and so does CNN, and so does the New York Times. They have vitriol for half of the nation. They don't look at them like fellow Americans, and it's unfortunate. They try to paint them as racist. That all the things that they do to their fellow Americans who simply want a safe home, a safe community, for the children to have prosperity. They want the same thing, but they demean them all the time.
What better way to hear it than this? I don't even know. Biden has allowed a crisis in our country. He destroyed our border, making our lives more dangerous. The country's financial problems are a whole separate issue. We have no idea what's going to happen next. Our money is being spent on military aid for everyone. Why can't they make our future brighter? Why can't they?
So I went back and pulled up the language that Biden used in that, I think it was a State of the Union address that was criticized on these lines. And I think a lot of Republicans tried to make it into his basket of deplorables moment. I'm not sure.
Well, that was Hillary Clinton. Oh, I see what. Yes, tried to make it as akin to Hillary's. Yeah.
I don't think it quite landed. Here's what Biden said. He said MAGA forces are determined to take this country backward to an America where there's no right to choose, no right to privacy, no right to contraception, no right to marry who you love.
The president's speech continues a series of increasingly aggressive and divisive attacks against his political opponents. Biden recently said Republicans are embracing semi-fascism. How is that even to be understood? Can a president be allowed to lie to everyone's face like that? You destroy the country and can't tell light from dark, and somehow try to justify yourself. Bullshit.
When he definitely does describe MAGA as a threat to the country, but he is talking about a set of policy prescriptions that he thinks are bad. I don't know that it's quite saying that Donald Trump's voters are bad. I mean, you know, some of the imagery and a lot of the imagery in the campaign advertisements so far that focus on MAGA are, you know, specifically will feature people from Charlottesville or people from January 6th, that kind of thing, which, you know, is a small subset of individuals. So it's not quite the same thing. Now, I think a lot of his acolytes or a lot of talking head type people are far less cautious on that front 100%. And lean totally into they're all deplorables and they're all racist and there's nothing we can do and we're screwed because there's so many of them.
He even specifically.
Yes, it does seem like fiction. Black Voters Matter co-founder Cliff Albright said Monday that President Biden's waning support among young black voters is the most troubling issue of the campaign. A large segment of the population is no longer ready to vote for him, and that's a sign. He is seen as old and unfit for a second term. He is simply a puppet and a man who is not capable of doing anything. What do you think about that? Write your opinion in the comments and don't forget to watch other shocking news on the channel.